Hey guys, it's so great that you're back. I'm so happy that you are here. And it is 2026. I know I already went over that, but it still kind of blows my mind. And today we're going to talk about winter classroom activities that boost engagement and emotional regulation. So, if you're looking for a podcast that helps educators create calmer classrooms and more connected students, you are in the right place. Because we're exploring some simple trauma-informed routines and cozy winter activities that will help your students settle their nervous system, build self-awareness, and stay grounded during these colder winter months. Going to go over 4 activities that you can start doing today. So listen in, guys. Welcome to Behavior Strategies for Class. I am Diane Bachman, your behavior paraprofessional with over 15 years of experience working in special education. And I'm so glad you're here because I'll be teaching you about social emotional learning, behavior strategies, trauma-informed care, and more. So if you are tired of being frustrated and not knowing what to do with your students who have challenging and disruptive behavior, you're in the right place. Now, if you're ready to become more equipped to help your students learn and grow, let's listen in to today's episode. So, as always, before we get started, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a review if you're listening to Apple Podcast. Share this episode, this podcast with other educators that you know, so we can continue to grow and learn together. So our students have been back just a few days. We came back and we had a snow day, which was fabulous, right? Like in Colorado, we've been pretty dry winter so far. We have not gotten a lot of snow, so it was great to get that snow day last week, but we are back into it. And so far our students have really acclimated pretty well. And so they've really just needed some extra breaks and some more time to talk. Some of them want to really talk about like their break and what they did and what they learned. Others just want to talk about being back in school and what they have to do and what they're learning. And so it's we are able to give them that opportunity more so than you, I know, because obviously you have all these other students that you are teaching. And so we're able to give them that extra time as much as possible without them, of course, dragging it on. And, you know, they want to be out of the class for half an hour. We're like, okay, yeah, we can finish talking about this later, or we can finish, your break time later. We give them the space as much as we can and then encourage them to get back to class and back to learning. All that to say, some of your students probably jump right back in and they're ready to go and in the swing of things, and other students are dragging and it's a struggle, but hopefully you will get there. And so some of the activities that we're going to talk about today will hopefully help those students who are struggling, getting back in the swing of things, processing through some of their emotions, and being able to release some of those emotions that are getting in the way, per se, of their learning. So the first thing that we're going to go over is this. It's called the Snowflake Identity Activity. So you're going to have your students cut out and create their own snowflake, folding the paper, using scissors, cutting out whatever kind. And it's really cool because it's actually like real snowflakes in that none of your students' snowflakes are going to be alike, right? Just like they are not alike. They are all individuals. They all have their strengths. And it's so awesome to see their creativity come out. But what you're going to do once they create their snowflake and cut it out, then have them write on there their affirmations, maybe their hopes and dreams, like for the school year, or maybe just they hope to be a teacher one day, or one of them wants to be, a police officer. Whatever it is, have them write it on there and then create a snowflake wall where they can all display it and everyone can see those positive affirmations and be encouraged through that. And that is one way that they are becoming self-aware and being able to write down and encourage themselves, building that confidence. Number 2, you can do a winter-themed check-in. So you want to be able to check in with your students, see how they're feeling at any time during the day. I've seen some teachers do it 3 times a day. I've seen them do it twice a day. And then I've seen them do it maybe once a day. So it's up to you and what works in your schedule. But at least once a day, I would encourage you to have a check-in with your students. And so you kind of tweak this as far as to have a winter theme. So you could ask, so if your mood were a winter weather pattern, what would it be? Some of your students are going to be stumped by this, like they're not going to know what to think. Other students are going to love to be a crazy rainstorm or a snowstorm so they can have another snow day and not go to school. Some of them will come up with some crazy ideas, of course, but I think that's a really fun way to get them thinking, okay, but how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling, that stormy? Or am I just feeling like I'm just a gentle breeze right now? So it's really fun to hear their answers. Another one you could ask is, what's one thing helping you feel warm on the inside today? So what comforts them? What makes them feel good? What makes them feel safe? So those are just a couple examples of a winter-themed check-in. And those are important because, again, it's helping them name the emotions. And when you can name the emotions, it reduces stress because it takes away that confusion of how am I feeling? Like, why am I feeling this way? Okay, I'm really feeling anxious right now. I'm really feeling stressed. And a lot of students, I'm actually hearing more students really use this language. And so that's exciting because they're hearing it more and being able to understand how they can use it. And so again, seasonal metaphors also make emotional language accessible. So when you kind of relate it to what's going on around them, then they can be able to access that and be able to use that language on a daily basis more often. So again, naming emotions helps them to reduce stress. And by changing and tweaking just the questions that you're asking and how they're feeling, turns it into a winter theme. And then number 3, you can have some winter self-regulation stations. So if you have time to do this, maybe at the end of the week, or maybe one day at the end of the day, I think these are really beneficial. So one station you could do is called snowflake breathing. So again, you're going to have them cut out of paper a snowflake, and then you're going to have them just hold it on their hand and they're going to blow on it and just see it rise and fall, and getting that focus, that visual, and the focus gives them an instant downshift. So if they are feeling anxious, they're stressed out, they're overwhelmed, now they have this snowflake in their hand, and now they have to concentrate on that. And then they have to blow, so they're releasing. And then, just watching it fall. It truly does make a difference. Getting the visual, the focus, it helps them instantly downshift on how they're feeling. Another self-regulation station you could do, it's called an hot cocoa calm down, and you can make cards about hot cocoa that will help them calm down. And you could say, one of them could be stir slowly, smell the cocoa, put in the marshmallows. And this is all just imagination. So you have the cards, maybe you have some pictures, and imagery sequencing helps them have cognitive regulation. So when you do a hot cocoa and you give them that imagination of what they're doing with it, it gives them cognitive regulation. And then number 3, as a self-regulation station, you can do a warm-up movement path. This is always fun. Kids love to do these different winter exercises. So you could have them skate, where they just kind of slide on the carpet or whatever is in your room. And you could probably just have, one little area and be like, okay, guys, you got to do it within these tables, and have them kind of skate back and forth. You could have them ski, kind of using poles, kind of up and down, like they're doing squats. And then you could have them do, snow angels. I'm making quotes because there's no snow, of course, inside your classroom. And you can have them do that because, as we all know, movement helps with regulation. It releases tension when their bodies are moving and gets their brain and more oxygen to their brain. And so it helps them to regulate. So getting those movement patterns going. So those are just a few examples of some self-regulation stations. And then number 4, I really like this one. It is called a Hot Cocoa Kindness Challenge. So this is where it's going to incorporate other people. So this isn't just about them and their regulation. This is where they can earn marshmallows, again in parentheses, so little paper marshmallows, for acts of kindness. And you can build a giant, maybe cup of hot cocoa. And then you fill it with all the marshmallows that your students are earning. And say once your hot cocoa cup gets full of marshmallows, then maybe they earn a class reward. So they have maybe a movie time, or they have maybe for real hot cocoa and their own marshmallows. Maybe they're able to sit with a buddy and play a game. I don't know, whatever it is that works for your classroom and what might be a reward for them as they are learning to look out for others, as they are learning that they can make a difference for somebody else in showing acts of kindness. And you could actually do it a competition and do it with another grade level class. I've been in one class or a different school that they did reading challenges, and they challenged their classmates in a different classroom. And so they were always Like it was on. They were definitely reading and encouraging everybody to be reading. And it was fun. This is a different way, right? Where they can look out for somebody else and realize, like I said, even at their age, and again, I'm in an elementary school, that they can make a difference for somebody else. And if they see somebody who's sad and down, and maybe they're able to go over and just asking them how they are and if there's anything they need. That other student may say, no, there's nothing, I'm okay. But at least they know that somebody else made the effort and acknowledged them and saw them. Like, that's huge. I think I see, quite a lot where students just kind of are out doing their own thing and nobody pays attention. So if your students can work on acts of kindness, earning those marshmallows to fill up their cocoa cup in the classroom, I think that is a great incentive to help them regulate not only themselves, but also their peers. So I would encourage you to try that one. But definitely any of these would be a great way that you can help boost engagement and emotional regulation in your classroom this winter. So again, 4 different activities we talked about today. Number 1 is that snowflake identity activity, where they can write on their snowflake their hopes, their dreams, their affirmations, and then display them on the wall. Number 2, do a winter-themed check-in. What kind of weather pattern or weather storm would they be? How are they feeling? Number 3 is winter self-regulation stations. And I gave 3 different examples of that. And then number 4 is hot cocoa kindness challenge, challenging your students to show kindness to their classmates and maybe even outside of the class. I don't know, like it could really go big and it could really make a difference, not only in your class, but in your school environment, your school community. So one of the quotes that I love about winter is by Paul Thurux. And he says, winter is a season of recovery and preparation. Like I felt that recovery when we came back from family vacation. And family vacation is always fabulous. Like we always have a good time together, but it's still exhausting at times. And so coming home and being able to just relax and not do anything or go anywhere is really nice. And that is a recovery time. And then preparation, right? Then we have to get prepared to go back to work. And then we got to start packing our lunch. And what are we going to have for lunch? And then what are we going to wear? And, all the other fun things that go with that. Does my car has gas? All of these things in preparing. And these, of course, are kind of immediate preparations. Like this could mean, preparations on self-improvement, teaching improvement, all kinds of different things and different ways that we can keep growing and improving as people, as community. So I want to encourage you, which activity will you use with your class this winter? So again, these activities, they really don't take up a ton of time. You could do them maybe once a week, even every other week. I don't know, whatever the time works out for you, but just helping your students boost their engagement and helping them get those strategies so they can emotionally regulate, that they can self-regulate, that they can begin to boost their emotional intelligence by using the vocabulary, because naming emotions reduces stress. All right, guys, you got this. It is another week in January. And again, this month we are talking about rebooting in January, which is kind of like prep time, right? That recovery and preparation. And you're doing amazing. And I want to remind you to stay on the lookout for my coaching program. It is going to be Behavior Pro Coaching. It is going to be an 8-week program where we can collaborate together to walk through and give you the behavior support that you need, that you have been searching for. So stay tuned, guys. It is coming. So I will see you next week. And remember, you are making a difference. Your students need you each and every day. And you're amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do for your classroom, for your school community. And I will see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. I truly appreciate your support. And if I have encouraged you, motivated you to continue to learn, to support your students, even better, to help them strive in your classroom, please leave a review, hit that subscribe button so that others can see they can learn and grow here as well. Thank you.